Hey everybody, it's been a while since I did the initial Q&A prep video, but I finally got around to doing this, so I'm going to do my second ever Q&A special just for my new subscribers and maybe, fans of my old videos that have been with me for a while. I decided to do another Q&A just to let people ask me some more questions, if they didn't know stuff about me or wanted to know something I haven't went over in my videos already, and I just thought it'd be pretty fun. So I got a couple questions, and I'm not sure how long it'll be, but I'm gonna answer the questions now. And here we go. First question is from X Love and Rage X. What 5 characters would you add to the new Super Smash Bros. Game? Well, first of all, I'd add Daisy, because she's one of my favorite Mario characters. I use her in Mario Kart. I use her in Mario Tennis. I just love her. I don't know why. She's kind of like the anti-princess, even though she's not evil. I don't know. I just like her for some reason. A Little Mac. I think that'd be pretty cool to add into the Super Smash Bros. Characters roster. Other than like a little run-in guy like he was in Brawl or a trophy. Ridley. I think that'd be pretty cool to add Ridley in there. Samus's nemesis in the game. I'm not sure how he can control because he's kind of big, but it's just a thought. Nestor. I think Nestor would be awesome to put in there. Kind of a throwback to the old school Nintendo Power fans or whatever. Like they put Rob the Robot, he's kind of old school. So I think Nestor would be cool to put in there. If not as a character, maybe just as a little run-in guy. Just throw a bowling ball at somebody. That'd be pretty cool. And last but not least, how about Paper Mario? There's been a couple iterations of Mario in the Super Smash Bros. Game, like Dr. Mario. So putting Paper Mario would be next best thing, because I think, he kind of fits in there, kind of like if they put Toon Link in Brawl. I think Paper Mario would be a pretty cool fit. Who is your favorite Power Ranger? That would be Tommy, the Green Ranger, also known as the White Ranger, also known as the Red Zeo Ranger, also known as the Dino whatever else he was. But my favorite ever, the Green Ranger. What was your biggest disappointment in gaming? By that I mean, what was the game you were eagerly anticipating and were completely let down by? I gotta say Brawl. I was really anticipating Brawl, and the story mode did live up to the hype, but the multiplayer it didn't live up to the hype for me. The online was laggy. When it did connect, it was laggy. It took forever for it to actually connect, and the first and second and third days there was tons of online issues. You couldn't even connect it for the most part. The match types were terrible. You could only play like 2-minute brawls, and it was just a big letdown. The story mode was good, and when you were playing local multiplayer, they slowed it down so much, and it was all floaty feeling, and it gave new players too much of a chance. It just didn't take any skill, in my opinion, and I didn't like it too much. The smash balls, you could kill people. You can kill one guy 5 times with one smash ball, and it was just stupid, especially with Star Fox and Falco and all them. It was just stupid. I didn't like it. Conversely, what was your most pleasant surprise in gaming? That game you had low expectations for, or bought sight unseen and you ended up loving? I bought a game called Dark Sector on a whim. Didn't know too much about it. It was cheap, and I was kind of looking for cheap games, and the game was awesome. It's like a third-person shooter slash, I don't know, Resident Evil style kind of a game. It's weird, but you can throw this blade and like control it and control where it goes and knock out enemies, and it's just a really fun game. The multiplayer was fun when I played it, and I just, you can get it for like $3. I highly recommend it because it's one of those games that nobody really played, I don't think, and I don't think it'll ever get a sequel, but I do think it's pretty underrated and you should give it a shot. Has there ever been games you couldn't finish because of their difficulty or cheatiness? What are some games you absolutely hate? Is there any gaming series you want to get into but haven't got around to yet? First answer is Dark Souls. I wanted to finish this, but the amount of fun didn't outweigh the amount of aggravation I was getting in the game, and to me, it just wasn't worth it. I thought the game was great. I loved the gothic setting and everything. The gameplay, it was just too difficult, and it just didn't seem like a good enough time investment for me. Second answer is a game I absolutely hate. You probably never heard of. It's called Karateka or Karateka or whatever. It's for the Atari 7800, and it's a shitty fighting game. It's completely broken. I don't know how to play it. I don't even know if it's playable, if it works or anything. Go try it someday. It's crap. And is there a gaming series I want to get into but I haven't gotten around to yet? Yes, that is the Metal Gear Solid series. I've heard excellent things about it, and I have some of the games. I just haven't got around to playing it. It's in my backlog, and unfortunately, I haven't got around to it yet. What is your most memorable video game moment? I think a very fond moment that I remember is me and my friend. My best friend is very good and competitive Smash Brothers players, and Melee, that is, and we play Melee competitively every time I see him when he comes into town. And there was a tournament, so we came down and competed in the tournament with me in my town, and I came in second, he came in first, and me and him were in the finals, and we had an epic battle, 10 stock, and came down to the last life, and it was our last life lasted like 5 minutes. It was crazy. He ended up winning, and I'm totally fine with that. It was an excellent battle, and it was pretty epic, and there's people around us watching, and it was just awesome. And he won a free copy of Super Smash Bros. Brawl because it was at the midnight release of Brawl, so it was really awesome, and it's just a great moment that I remember. What is the best video game song that you have ever heard? Now, keep in mind, this isn't my favorite video game song ever, but if you're asking me what I think is the best song, I'm gonna have to say Chrono Cross Scars of Time. It's from the opening of Chrono Cross, the video game. If you just pop in the disc, it's the first song that comes on. It's got an orchestra in the background, and it's just beautiful. Everything about it, it's just fabulous, and it makes you want to play the game. Unfortunately, I haven't got around to playing the game yet, but to me, that is the most beautiful song I've ever heard in video games. I'm an original subscriber, but what are your prospects for jobs after graduation, and how will that affect your gaming? Or how will your gaming affect your job? I'm not quite exactly sure the exact field that I want to get into. I think I want to get into, helping people, counseling maybe, helping juveniles or kids who, their parents don't give much attention, or they've gone on the wrong track or something like that. And how it's going to affect my job, I don't really plan on the two things mixing exactly. I want to keep them separate, but that's basically the short answer to that. What's your favorite guilty pleasure game? I gotta say, my favorite guilty pleasure game is probably WarioWare Smooth Moves on the Wii. It's totally a Wii waggle fest, but it's tons of fun. You turn the Wiimote sideways to do a bicycle pump or whatever. You turn it like you're holding a plate, like you're a waiter or something. It is totally crazy, brainless fun, and I just love to play it. It's totally a casual game, like I said, but I just think it's fun as hell. Have you played a game called Shadow of Rome? It's from Capcom, and what do you think of it if you did play it? I haven't played it, and I actually think I own it. Strangely enough, I just don't know where it is. I think I have it on the PS2 maybe, and I have heard that it's a pretty good action hack and slash game. If I'm thinking correctly, it's the same kind of game. I heard it's pretty good, and I hope to play it someday. Sing the intro song to Bonkers the Cartoon. Have you looked into a better way to display your games and movies? Almost all of the videos I've seen of all your precious games and movies are sitting on the floor. P.S. Love the channel. Well, thank you. I have planned on getting some more space in here. Unfortunately, I just don't have the room. So until then, the games are piling up, unfortunately, and I just don't have a place to properly put them. But other than that, I don't remember the song from Bonkers. I do remember watching it like in 1992 or something. So sorry, maybe next time. If you had to have just one console for the rest of your life, what would it be? That would be my very first video game console and the very first system that I owned and played and rented from, and that was the NES. And I played it back in the early 90s, and I just love the system. It has tons of games, a huge library of different kinds of genres, and it's just the most nostalgic for me. And I think if I had to play one game for the rest of my life, one game system, it'd be the NES. It's just nostalgic for me. Favorite game that most gamers don't know about? That would be Journey to Silius for the NES. It is basically a Mega Man clone. I say clone loosely because it has the same gameplay style. It's an action platformer where you shoot, even though I think it was originally a Terminator game, but it's kind of the same style. You run and shoot and you fight robots, and you can change your weapons in the middle of battle, fight big bosses, and it's just a fun game. Absolutely underrated. I don't hear hardly anybody talk about it, and I just remember playing this back in the day. Not knowing anything about it, just picked it up and played it, and it's just a fun game. Give it a shot if you haven't played it before. What is the one Sega franchise that needs to be remade today? I have 2 words to answer this question. If you could bring back one game character that did poorly in the 90s and have his or her games actually be good, who would it be? That would be Dizzy, the giant egg thing from NES and developed by Camerica, I believe. Let me see. Here we go, Dizzy. Basically, he was in a series of platform games, I think maybe 1 or 2 on the NES, and I think maybe on the Genesis too. But they were always on these weird carts, and it's a pretty fun platformer game. Not polished, not very terrific, anything like that. But if I could remake it, I think it'd be interesting to have a giant egg guy in a series of good platformers. Maybe on the Wii or Wii U or DS or something. Favorite Mortal Kombat fatality. I'm just gonna show you guys what my favorite fatality is.
Flawless victory. Fatality.
What's your favorite Sega Genesis / Mega Drive game? That would be the very first one I played with a buddy of mine back in 1992. Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Just love everything about it. The music was awesome. The co-op gameplay that we always played sitting beside each other. I remember we would always play I always called them the water slide levels, where you're like in the big 2 water slide thing. You're trying to get the rings. We could always get to like level 8. We can never get the last couple rings to get the Chaos Emerald, and it was just tons of fun. He'd be Tails, I'd be Sonic, or I'd be Tails and he'd be Sonic, and we play versus, and the game is just fun. And back then when you're kids, that's all you want to do is have fun, and that game was definitely it. If you're going to create a new game console, what would you call it, and what would be the 3 main goals for you that you would want the console to represent? A side question to that, what forgotten third-party mascot would you revitalize for this new console? I don't know what I would call it, honestly. I just can't think of anything. Maybe Game Sphere or something similar like the GameCube, or I don't know, some knockoff name, this total ripoff. My main goal for the console would be to include every kind of genre of games. Mostly for the Xbox now, there's tons of shooters, and the Wii is just full of kiddie games and shovelware now. But if I was doing a console, I like there to be an emphasis on first-person shooters, platformers, racers, fighting games, hack and slash, brawlers, just everything. An abundance of every kind of genre of those games, and implemented with good online for all of them, good leaderboards, and that's what I would like to have. What third-party mascot would I revitalize for this console? I'm trying to think if it was a third-party mascot or not. Gex? Even though he was kind of an unofficial mascot to the 3DO, he did appear on the PlayStation, I believe. But I think it'd be cool to bring back Gex. Favorite PC Engine / turbo game? I haven't played too much of the TurboGrafx because sadly when I got mine, I only had a couple games. I had Legendary Axe 2 and Pac-Land. Pac-Land wasn't that good, unfortunately, and because I bought it from my retro game store just next door to me, and I couldn't find too many other games, so I had to get what they had. And they all of a sudden had a different game called Bonk's Adventure, and I played that game a lot. I thought it was very fun, and it was a crazy fun platformer, eating the meat, going crazy, and just it was fun. And that's sadly the only couple games that I really played for the TurboGrafx because mine crapped out on me, and I haven't had a chance to find any games here in the wild. So until I play some more, it's got to be Bonk. If you had to move and a gamer asked you to move in with them until you found a place of your own, who would you move in with? I'd probably move in with my good old buddy X11RageX. He's been a good buddy of mine on here for a while, here on YouTube, probably since the early days, and maybe 2009. And I think it'd be cool. We just, room together, both watch wrestling, we both like video games. Be really cool time, just to have fun and goof off and just be stupid. What is your favorite video game series? In continuation today or discontinued? My favorite video game series ever is the classic Mega Man series. Now, I do like X and I do like the new ones, but the classic ones are just my favorite. They're simple action platformers. Each iteration, they don't change it up too much. They keep the core aspect of the game the same. If it's not broken, why fix it? They do add a little bit of different things, the charged up Mega Buster, the sliding, stuff like that, but the core aspect of the game is the same. The graphics are all the same. Mega Man 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10. The graphics are all the same, and I love it that way. I love it, the 8-bit style, and I just love the classic Mega Man series. They're hard games, which I enjoy. They're a good challenge, but they're not too difficult, and that's just my favorite franchise. How many console games do you own? Which system do you own the most games for? I'd say probably I'd own around, I honestly don't know, I'd say probably around 700 games maybe, and I'd say the most I probably have is for the Nintendo. I think I have probably about 100 games for my Nintendo, give or take a little bit. Even though you have a most wanted list on your channel, what would be the top 5 games that you would love to own but you don't? First off, I'd love to own Parasite Eve. I remember playing this game back in the day, and my friend who had every game that I always wanted, he had played this game, and I just watched eagerly wanting to play, and he would never let me. So I really want to add that game to my collection. It seems like it's a mix of Resident Evil, which I love, and an RPG. So someday I hope to get that game. Also, Mega Man X3. I do have it on the Mega Man X collection on the PS2, but I'd always want to play it on the classic Super Nintendo cart. Fortunately, the game's super expensive. It's one of the most expensive Super Nintendo games, so don't know if that'll ever happen. Final Fantasy 3, not too rare or anything, but I do want to have the actual card of that because I do own Final Fantasy 2 on the Super Nintendo. I think just adding number 3 would be a good way to complete my Final Fantasy collection. I also want to get Mega Man Legends. I want to try out the PlayStation 1 version because I used to have Mega Man 64, which is basically the same thing except it's on the 64. I used to have it back in the day, and unfortunately I traded it off and I just want to get that game back in a different form. And last but not least, Power Stone 2. My favorite Sega Dreamcast game. My buddy used to have this game back in the day, and we played the ever-loving shit out of this game. It was basically the Dreamcast version of Super Smash Brothers. We played the game so much and didn't play much else on the Dreamcast until we get some more games. And I've always wanted to get that game for my Dreamcast. I don't have that big of a collection for the Dreamcast. I only have like 10 games, but I have Power Stone 1. I just need Power Stone 2, and I think I'll be pretty satisfied with my Dreamcast collection. That is it for the Q&A this time. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope it didn't go on too long. But for new subscribers to my channel and my guys who've stuck with me for a while, hope this entertained you for a little bit, and maybe someday I'll do another Q&A. Thanks for watching. Thumbs up this video if you liked it, and thanks for watching. Catch you guys later.